Stop everything. Because what was said wasn't just criticism, and it definitely wasn't post-game noise. It was a warning shot. The kind that exposes truths people inside the program would rather keep buried. When Urban Meyer spoke, he wasn't breaking down film. He was questioning the very identity of Ohio State football. For weeks, fans were led to believe the problem was in the headset, that the confusion between Ryan Day and Brian Hartline, who was calling the plays, who had control, sabotaged the season. A comfortable explanation, a convenient one. It's always easier to blame tactics than to confront something structural. But Urban Meyer demolished that narrative in seconds. And what he said stung. According to Meyer, the obsession with play calling is a distraction, a smokescreen hiding a much uglier reality. Ohio State didn't lose because of scheme. It lost because it got physically dominated, pushed around, overpowered, where football actually begins, at the line of scrimmage. And this didn't come from a random talking head. It came from the last coach to take Ohio State to the absolute peak of college football, a man who built championships on toughness, discipline, and controlled violence. When someone with that resume says your team was weak, it's not rhetoric, it's a diagnosis. The numbers make it even more brutal. All season long, quarterback Julian Sayin was sacked just 6 times. 6. That suggests stability, protection, control. Then came the 2 biggest games of the year. Indiana, Miami, 10 sacks. 10 in 2 games, that's not bad luck. That's a collapse. There is no brilliant play call that survives when the pocket caves in after 2 seconds. No quarterback, not in college, not in the NFL, can operate when defenders are living in his lap. When the offensive line fails like that, the playbook becomes meaningless. And that's exactly what happened. Ohio State wasn't confused. It was bullied. The most uncomfortable part of this story is what it reveals about identity. Ohio State has never been about finesse. It has never survived on cute schemes or clever tricks. This program was built on imposing its will, on winning the physical battle, on breaking opponents mentally by breaking them up front. When Urban Meyer said they got kicked at the line of scrimmage, he was saying Ohio State stopped being Ohio State, and that truth lands squarely on Ryan Day, not because of a play sheet, but because of culture, preparation, roster construction. Because when a team disappears physically in the biggest moments, the problem doesn't start on game day. It's planted months earlier. In recruiting, in the weight room, in what is tolerated and what is demanded. That scoreless first half against Miami wasn't an accident. It was the final symptom of a disease that showed itself against Indiana. The offense froze because it couldn't breathe. Sayin played tight, unsure, waiting for pressure that always came. And once a quarterback loses faith in his protection, the game is over before halftime. Urban Meyer did something even more dangerous than criticizing. He removed the safety net of excuses. By calling play calling overrated, he stripped away the easy blame. That may ease the tactical pressure on Ryan Day, but it puts enormous weight on his ability to rebuild the program's physical edge. Because strategy without toughness wins nothing. It never has. For a program with Ohio State's budget, recruiting power, and history, allowing 10 sacks in 2 postseason games isn't just unacceptable. It's embarrassing. It's the kind of failure that reshapes national perception. And here's the scariest part. If this isn't fixed, nothing changes next season. It won't matter who's calling plays. It won't matter who the coordinator is. It won't matter how talented the quarterback might be. Football has never changed at its core. Games are won in the trenches. Championships are won in the trenches. Urban Meyer didn't create drama. He held up a mirror. And what Ohio State saw reflected back wasn't pretty. The question now is simple. Will the program confront that truth? Or will it keep arguing about headsets while the real problem remains buried at the line of scrimmage? And do you agree with Urban Meyer? Or do you still believe this was just a play-calling issue? Because after this, pretending it was only a tactical mistake feels less like analysis and more like denial.